Hello, teams 1, 2, and 3 of the Beautiful Feet Project for 2020. I want to give you a quick walkthrough of Google Classrooms because I know we're migrating in the middle of onboarding, so I want to let you know where some things have shifted, and a video is the fastest way to do it. You should be receiving some kind of classroom invitation that asks you to join the Beautiful Feet Project onboarding using the same email you've used for your Google accounts. So I'm going to click join. Now it's going to take you to Google Classroom. If you want to know how to get here in the future, you click these triple dots and then you scroll down to the second section, and Classroom should be right here. So if I click that real fast, I have the classroom right here. I can click on it and it takes me to the same spot. So I'm going to give you the tour on desktop first, and then I'm going to give you the tour on mobile because it's a little bit different if you're using a cell phone. This is particularly for Maryland, but anyone else as well. When you go in, you're going to be immediately on stream, which is just going to show everything kind of stacked on top of each other. It's not all that helpful initially because the order is backwards. So this 3.5 thing is like one of the last things you should do. You'd have to scroll all the way to the bottom to 1.1 for it to be useful. I'll get into what all this is. What I recommend doing initially is go to classwork, and this is a little bit more clear. So you're going to see all these assignments that have already been given to you. What I did was took that initial week 0. Let me show you real quick, just so we're all speaking the same language. If I go to, actually, where am I trying to go? If I go to the Beautiful Feet Project, onboarding. All right, so this is the normal Google Drive that you guys are used to with week 1, 2, week 3, and week 4. If you go and open up this tracker, you've all been editing this faithfully. Google Classrooms is getting rid of this, which is actually better. But because of that, I've re-added all of week 1's assignments and week 2's so that you can quickly check them off, if that makes sense, in that same structure. Also, the reason I did that is so everything's on hand in one location. So this Google Drive folder is going to go away, but I'm going to leave it up for anyone who's transitioning. So going back to Google Classroom, here we go. So this is Welcome to the Beautiful Feet Project. This has that intro video. These tasks should seem familiar, like watch the Japan Initiative video, download Marco Polo. You've done all these things, but they've been reassigned to you because I've broken them into mini modules. All you have to do to get these off your plate is click on one and then click View Assignment. And then if you had wanted to do this, you would click on it, and then all of a sudden you're in a Google Drive with all this familiar content and a YouTube video. But all you have to do is click Mark as Done. And when you click Mark as Done, it'll go away. So now it's submitted. You could unsubmit it for some reason. You could also send a comment privately to the teacher, which would be the Beautiful Feet Project. So now if we go back, onboarding, classwork, this is now gray. If I click this again, it should shrink. So any kind of grayed out thing you've completed, anything that's dark still needs to be done. So again, if I want to get access to the Google Drive, there's a document. It has all the instructions on it. Get access, click those links. But we've already done that, so we'll close this. We'll go to View Assignment, and we'll mark this as done. There we go. There's no work attached. And then if we go back here, now those 2 assignments are grayed out. So let me show you some interesting ones. Whoops. So for all the 0 week 1 stuff, you can just quickly do that so that it's grayed, and then it should disappear it from your stream. For these next sections, we've taken that original like week 1, week 2, week 3, and we've broken it up where you have your intro videos, your logistics, your biblical leadership formation, cross-cultural, ESL. Everything's going to be stacked under here. So eventually there's going to be 16 lessons under biblical leadership formation. What you're working on right now is week 2. what has now been assigned as week 3 as well. So if we open week 2 quickly, Why Japan, this should look familiar if you view the assignment. You'll now notice it says your work and there's a Google Doc here. So where we had the personal journals, I've actually gotten rid of that because it got really messy. If you click here, it's actually made you a mini Bible study copy of it. And what you can do, you have full editing rights on some of this week 2 content, like Why Japan. So why do you think Jesus came? He came because blah. But then what I can do, when I think that I'm done with this, I've answered all my questions, I can actually turn this assignment in. So it's asking, do you want to turn in your work? I'm going to click turn in. And I could unsubmit it if I made a mistake. But then if I go to this classroom as the Beautiful Feet Project, so a different account right here, and I go to Why Japan, I can see, if I refresh this, Why Japan, I can click here. Nothing's working. Oh, I'm on an intro video. I'm sorry. I figured it out. And this won't shrink for some reason. Shrink. Okay. So if I go to Biblical Leadership Formation, Why Japan, now I can see that one's turned in. Sorry about that. So if I click to turned in, I can see this submission from Joey Sosaki, and then I can read all of these little comments or responses to it. I can see that he said because blah. I can even say a comment like, hey, that's great. And click submit to that. I can give you a grade, even though it doesn't really matter. And then I can return it to you. So now you see your grade, you can see the comments I've made. The reason this is helpful is we're going to use this to collaborate on content. So one of the pain points from our onboarding was, as I jump across too many windows, this lesson for classwork. Logistics. Kicking off fundraising. This was challenging for some people. So if we click on here, there's the instructions with the YouTube video, but now there's this Google Docs support letter template right here. So you can actually click on your support letter template and it's made you a copy automatically. You can edit it however you want, and then when you think you have it edited for you, and you've changed all your pictures and names and stuff, you can turn this in, and then the Beautiful Feet Project team can review it and make sure what you've put out here is good. So it just allows us to have better kind of control over content, and we're going to do this for testimony, reviews, and all kinds of fun stuff. So a bit new, a little bit more robust. It'll take a bit of time to figure it out, but it's going to be much faster later, if that makes sense to you. So this is how it works. We have some of our week 3 content up. It is up for biblical leadership formation, cross-cultural leadership, and ESL. So I think you can get started on that already. We haven't done the intro video for week 3, but that's okay. We haven't done the logistics yet in team dynamics, but I wanted to get you going with what we do have done. So let me show you on mobile real quick in case this is challenging. So you're going to need to go and download Google Classroom. So just go to your app store and search Google Classroom. It'll have you log in with your Google account, and then it's the same kind of user interface. So you can go and click on onboarding. You're going to initially come in on Stream, where it has all the assignments that are kind of backwards. Remember, the most recent ones are on top. You can go to classwork, go by section. So you've already done all of week 0. Welcome to Beautiful Feet. And then you can go through and watch your weekly videos or logistics. So maybe I want to go and do why do I care about cross-cultural leadership? So I'll click on this. Here's an attachment. I'm going to open this up and see what happens. There's a YouTube link. that I can watch. There's all this content I can read. And then when I'm done with it, I'll close it. And then I can mark as done. So if you click this little arrow right here, this will bring it up and you can mark as done. So we've completed that task. The reason it says this is you don't have to attach anything to this assignment. Some of them that you turn in for us to edit, it won't give you this message, but other ones we just want the content out there you can click. And when you mark it as done, it's then tracked. So now that it's done, if I go back, now it's grayed out. So same kind of idea. There's also a little to do over here. I haven't played with this very much. So you can see what's missing, and if you click more, it'll expand all of it. So this is all the stuff you have to do from old. This is all the week 3 content that's due on March 15th. So hopefully more organized. I know this is kind of a long-winded video, but this is a new process and I wanted you guys to feel good about it. And it's just kind of a first recording, so I'm going to send it as is. But thanks for bearing with us. Let me know if you have any trouble with it or can't access tools or things aren't working. The other thing I'll show real quick that I forgot about, if we go to, coursework. So you have the sections. You have your intro videos for each week 2.1. You have your logistics, 2.2, biblical leadership. So I kind of have the order as 2.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5. But after team dynamics, we have onboarding feedback. If you click here, this will give you instructions on how to access a Google form for feedback. And then from here, you should be able to give us feedback. Everything never works when you try it the first time. Should work on desktop, but it's interesting watching it on mobile. But anyway, I think that's all I got. Hopefully that's helpful. Hopefully you guys are excited about this. And let me know if you have any challenges.